What does help us bridge our physical and spiritual realms? I have an answer for you as I speak again with the incredible Danielle Matthews. You might remember her as the traumatic head injury survivor who didn't accept the diagnosis of her new normal after being hit by a drunk driver and losing her ability to function at the levels she was used to. And I'm so excited for you to join in on this conversation today. And I would love to hear what you think about it afterwards. So be sure to share your thoughts with me on Facebook or YouTube. And please rate and review our podcast wherever you are streaming it from so that more people can have access to these conversations that are meant not only to perk up your soul, but to open your eyes and heart to the more of you that is ready to express itself. Hi, I'm Tamara Zoner. Welcome to Spirit Cafe. Come in, sit down, and grab a cup of love. Okay, welcome Danielle back to Spirit Cafe. I'm so glad to see you here again.
So thanks for having me, Tamara. Glad to be back.
I love talking to you, and I know that we talk in between, just so you guys know. Danielle and I connect now and then. And the last time we did, we were talking about this topic of post-traumatic growth. And I wondered if you just want to dive right in.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I think it's so interesting because when I bring up that term, a lot of people go, wait, what is it? I've never heard that before. And we've all heard of PTSD. We've all heard of post-traumatic stress disorder. And I think a lot of people have experienced that in their life. Just trauma, right, is anything that's happened too fast, too soon, like too quickly, too much. It's, and you're not able to kind of cope with it. And it's normal. And it's different for all of us. But post-traumatic growth is this concept, this idea that taking a trauma, taking something that is intense, a super big challenge in your life, and using it to actually propel you to the next chapter so that it actually shifts you, changes you at like a core soul level, causes you to perceive the world differently, causes you to show up differently, causes you to look at relationships differently, might even cause you to completely change your job, change paths. Like it can, when you talk to trauma survivors that have experienced this, that have been able to, I call it transmute, right? Be able to take something and digest it and take the power from it rather than it keeping you pulled down, but taking that same energy that it holds and using it as power to propel you. A lot of these trauma survivors will say, look, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I am so grateful for what seemed to have broken me because it really shaped me into who I am. And, for myself, Tamara, it's like, that's what I went through. And I didn't know that until someone said to me, oh, Danielle, you're a beautiful example of post-traumatic growth. And I was like, what is that concept? And why are we talking about that more?
Yeah. So just for people who haven't heard your story yet, if they haven't listened to the previous episodes that you've been on, can you give us a quick recap of your trauma?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was hit by a drunk driver when I was 23. And that accident just, in moments shifted my life entirely. I went from being like happy, vibrant, 23-year-old. I was out of college. I was teaching. I was doing Teach for America. I was snowboarding on the weekends. I was like my dream. And all of a sudden, I couldn't focus for more than 10 minutes at a time. I couldn't handle light, couldn't handle noise, migraines, and my health was taken from me. And with that, my ability to earn was taken from me. All of a sudden, I couldn't show up to work, so I couldn't earn money, and I lost my independence. I ended up having to move in with my parents. And so the world I had known, the Danielle who I thought I was, completely gone. And it was this, I look at it now more in the spiritual context, like a big ego death. This concept of who I was, had to go away for me to really understand who I truly was. But that's what I went through. And for the first year, it was, I had severe depression, anxiety. I was dealing with PTSD. I was, going to therapy, and something switched in me after a year, and this is typical of most people that go through intense things, something eventually like turns within you. It can be someone else that says something. Like for me, it was my neurologist said to me that this was my new normal. He told me to just adjust my life around my symptoms. I'd done all the healing I was going to do. And I was like, no, no, I am taking life head on. We're doing this. And so I started to shift and change my inner world so that I could find peace amidst my injury. And it was like in doing that, I figured out and it tapped into this law of vibration, which is that the vibration you hold, you attract in. And when I shifted my inner world, it wasn't overnight. Like we're talking, I had to process through a lot of things that had been held within me that I didn't want to deal with previously. I had to like shine light on them. Doing that inner work is what shifted my vibrational state and then attracted in the answer to my physical health, which was the ASEA redox, this stuff that, we talked about last time I was on, that changed my world and allowed my body to heal itself. And, I then used that whole experience to turn my life and my life's work and my purpose for being here into something that could serve others. So I've educated thousands now about that product. I've changed so many lives with it, and I've helped other people kind of step out and do the same. And that's when someone said, Danielle, that right there, that's post-traumatic growth. That's using this thing that could have broken you. You used it to shape you and then to help other people. And, I started Googling about this, like, who else has experienced post-traumatic growth, right? Like, what is this? And let me share with you, this one surprised me so much because this is a guy that I think we all know. He's made us all laugh a ton. He has spent his career on television. He is on the late night shows. Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert, yeah, like you wouldn't know. Happiest man. Like you think of just like this happy human.
Right.
When he was 10, his dad and two of his brothers were killed in a plane crash.
Mm.
Yeah. Think about like 10 years old, losing your father, losing your brothers. And he'll say like that bomb went off in my life, but I learned to love the bomb because it taught me a new appreciation for the present moment, how short life can be, to use today to its fullest. He said it totally informs him. It's how he's able to be so present on his shows. It's why you see that he loves what he does because he's living in the moment, loving it. And he said that has been a secret to his success. And he has complete gratitude. He said, it wasn't easy. It's not like I'm happy that happened, but it has informed and transformed who I am. Like, that's post-traumatic growth.
That's amazing. And it probably didn't happen. He probably didn't make the decision to use it when he was 10. But I'm curious, what do you feel in the research that you've done and in your own experience makes the difference between someone who has trauma and goes into a stress response and stays there versus someone who decides to utilize it and turn it into post-traumatic growth?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of internal things. It can also be the environment that the person's in. And I want to say, like, as humans, when we experience trauma, like everyone goes through this stress response, like that, it happens. And then the question is, how long do we stay there, or can we move through it? And I think awareness is one thing. I truly believe that the people around someone makes a difference. Like my therapist said to me, he said, Danielle, what you're going through, you're not going to get a diploma at the end of this. He said, you're not going to have some piece of paper to prove something and get some great job. He said, but you're going to have emotional intelligence that is going to be far beyond anyone else your age. And I held to that, like, okay, there's something to look forward to at the end of this. And there's something called the Pygmalion effect, where it basically says people will rise to the level of expectation that you hold for them. And I believe if you are around someone that is going through something, this is not to discredit what they're going through or say, like, get over it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to be able to say to them, wow, like, this is truly a test. you're going to find some inner strength within you that you didn't even know you had. You're going to come out of this a better version of you. I cannot wait to see that. And I'm going to cheer it the whole way. I'm going to help you in whatever ways I can. That is like someone falls into a hole, right? They're going through something traumatic. Rather than getting down into the hole with them and hugging them and saying, I'm so sorry for you. And like, now you're both in the hole. Like you can't be helpful from down there.
Right.
So stand on the edge and say, like, I see a bigger picture for you. I see where this is going. This is a speed bump. I know it seems like everything for you, but like, this is a speed bump. And I think number one thing that makes a difference is the support systems that are around people. And, you know, if you're listening to this and you're going through something and your family's not showing up in the way that you feel you need, or loved ones aren't, it's okay. They might not get it. Seek professional help. Yeah. You know, find people like myself that have been through something like this and connect in with them. You know, get into a support group of people. Like I joined a brain injury support group, and it was so powerful to have that community. So I think that's one. And then the second is internal resilience. It's the self-talk. It's how have you learned to master your inner world? And for people that have been through a lot, they can handle more because they've already, like going to the gym, right? You break down muscle and the physical body, like we know that. But a lot of us like missed the day in school when they taught us like, oh, life is going to hand you some difficult things and it's meant to make you stronger, right?
Like teaching that in school, and perhaps they should be.
They should be. They should be. 100% should be. And it's like, that is the mental, the emotional, the spiritual strength comes from life. Like, there's a beautiful book I just finished reading. You would love it. It's called Mutant Message Down Under. Ooh. And bizarre name for a book, right? My mom sent it to me and I was like, Mom, what did you send me? Mom always sends me the best books. It's an easy read. It's like a story, but this woman, she goes and she's living with Aboriginals in Australia. And it's amazing how she got into it. Yeah. That's the down under. Yep. Okay. And the Aboriginals say that we are mutants from like the original blueprint of who we are, humans, what we came here to do, how connected we are, the strength we have spiritually. Like we've mutated and have forgotten so much. So that she was called a mutant. And so this is the mutant's message. But she went, and for 4 months she lived with them. And so this book, it's packed full of amazing things. But one of the things that hit me was, you know, they were walking through the desert and one person led every day. And she was like in the back, just like, you know, kind of like, okay, follow leader. And then one day they said, it's your turn to lead. And she was like, we're all going to starve. Like, where do I find water? Like, what are you talking about? You know? And she had this whole, and like for days, like they're all like getting to the point where like, they're not going to make it because she hasn't figured it out yet. And then, you know, she has her epiphany, she figures it out. But what they said to her was this, and I thought it was so powerful. They said, eventually test day comes. You can be at the back of the line in life. You can be in the middle of the line. Eventually the day will come where you have to lead yourself or a group of people. And that's your test day. That's the day you get to apply all the things that you've learned in life, all the capabilities and capacities and unique gifts that you hold, like, and only you can get through it. Like they refused to help her, even though it was at the detriment to themselves, because they said, you have the gift within. And I think like, how powerful is that? You know? And if we can look at trauma as like, it's just test day, like not get in this whole, like, oh my God, woe is me. Like I'm a victim. Like, no, like your spirit said, you're ready for the next level. Take the test so you can level up, you know? That's to me what it is.
Oh, I love that. Your spirit said you're ready. I totally identify with that because there's argument back and forth or discussion we can say about, you know, why we're here on this earth, and is it so we can learn these lessons? And some say, yes, we're here to learn specific lessons. And some say, no, that's BS. But no matter how you call it, we're going to go through some things. And yes, we get to choose the meaning that we make in this life and what we make of trauma and what we make of our own experiences, whether they're the ones that feel really good or the ones that feel really terrible. And I like this meaning of test day, like, hey, time to step up into that next bigger, bolder, stronger more enlightened
Yep.
version of yourself and give more of the gifts that you are in this world. That feels really good to
Absolutely.
me and juicy and beautiful.
Yeah, right. And like, what if we held that space for one another, where it's like we just were like, wow, like I'm so excited for the growth you're about to go through. You think about a caterpillar, it's got to like completely dissolve. Like what goes on in a cocoon is crazy. Like a caterpillar completely dissolves and then reformulates into a butterfly, like beautiful wings and can fly, and like a whole nother dimension to the world opens up. And
Mhm.
I think that is what happens with trauma. Like you break down
Mhm.
all the aspects of you that you thought you were and what was important. It's like it gets pushed and pressed and twisted and like crumbles because you're ready for the next dimension. You're ready to learn, oh, there's more.
Yeah.
And it's an internal shift, and it's so cool to be able to think like and hold that space for people. I think, again, Pygmalion effect. Like what if we all were just going, oh wow, we're all leveling up, like at our own paces, or whatever that means in our life. Like definitely don't compare because your journey is unique. But I think like that's the world I want to live in, is helping people just look at life and go, yeah, it's just a test day. Like, and I got this.
Exactly. I feel like that's a lot of what parenting is, if we're doing it
Mm,
in a way that is supportive of our children's growth, because there are so many times where, I mean, it's natural to want to step in and help or save, you know?
yeah.
And so I catch myself over and over stepping back and saying, you can figure this out. And my oldest, she has a lot of anxiety. And so she's on the, very edge of the spectrum, and she's brilliant. So she's twice exceptional, and she struggles with as much as she has it easy. And
Yeah.
I'll step back and watch her struggle. And she'd be like, Mom, aren't you going to help me? And I said, I am. Like, I am. This is how I,
Mm,
by not doing it
yep.
for you, by just being here loving you while you figure it out for yourself, because that's ultimately my job.
Yep. Beautiful guy. I mean, and that's like holding space. It is. It's like hard, but when we can do that for one another, it's so powerful. Like in coaching, like I'm not a parent yet, but I have felt like in coaching my team, for years now, I watch people go through so much, and there's always a day, and I always tell them like it's gonna come where you meet yourself in the mirror and you start questioning, can I even do this? And is it even worth it? And it's gonna be hard. And I can't get past that day for you. And it's tough because I watch some people bounce back into like the old restraints and the way their life was. They just like weren't ready yet to push through. And then I see others, they're like, let's do this. And they push through it, and they have these, this good opening. And it's so exciting to have a front row seat to that. And to me, it's that Pygmalion effect, like just constantly only seeing the divine in people, only seeing the complete potential that exists. And if you just speak life into that, it's inevitable. I'm like, borrow my belief until you hold it yourself. Because I see it. I don't have all this BS in your mind that you have. Like, I see you for and you will soon too.
Oh, what a gift of a leader you are to your team. That is amazing. So tell us the team. Tell us about your team. What is the team that you support?
Oh yeah, so it's interesting. Behind me, I don't know, these dragonflies. We call ourselves Team Dragonfly, and this is, guys, this is in relation to ASEA. So let me backpedal a little to just give context. When my life changed so much because of the technology, the biotechnology that ASEA has, I just thought other people need this, and they're coming to market through word of mouth. Like there's nowhere that you can get this anywhere else. Kind of like Girl Scout cookies. Like you got to buy it from a Girl Scout. At least that's how it used to be. I don't know how it is these days, but like you had to get it through a Girl
Girl
Scout.
Scouts now have websites, but they still sell it directly.
Exactly. It's a different version than when I was 10, but same thing. And so it's like with the ASEA, you can only get it through someone that is sharing it. Like you have to find it through somebody because there's a little bit of education required with it.
Mhm.
And so I thought, well, this is beautiful. Like I can help other people, give them hope, share my story, share something that can be powerful. And in doing that, I was aligning with this company. And at the beginning, it was just like I was just helping people with their health. And then I thought my voice is only so loud. Like I could spend my whole life one person at a time helping them, or I can find other people that also have a passion, that want to transform lives, that want to have more purpose in their work, that want to maybe create a side income, like whatever the driver is for them. And I thought, if I find those people, then I can like duplicate, right? I scale. Now it's not just my voice, it's a choir of voices. And I will lead them. I can share with them the things that I have learned so they can have success, and we can learn from each other. So when I say team, that's the team. So over the last 8 years, there have been dozens and dozens and dozens of people, probably hundreds, that have joined this cause, that want to help people live a better life. And we say, our mission is to better people's lives and be a force for good in the world. That's what we do. And we do it through sharing this biotechnology and through creating a community of people that hold one another to this space of, all I see is the best in you. And I'm going to hold space while you work through this stuff. And we're going to create the right soil so this seed of potential in you can come burst forth. And that's why we call ourselves Team Dragonfly, because dragonflies represent transformation. They represent being a positive life force. And that's the team I lead. We've got people globally, Tamara. It's like so fun because people in the UK and people in Australia and people in Singapore, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all dealing with the same stuff. And it doesn't matter the culture. Like everyone's got the same, demons in their mind. And it's just this mind of ours, just crazy, the programming that happens. But we can collectively be there for one another. And it's so cool to have that community where like, it's just supportive, where people are on a similar mission. Like being a part of that, I haven't felt that except since like when I played sports, when you're on a team and you're collectively like moving towards something and you're all doing your best and you're all cheering each other on. Like I haven't felt this kind of community since then. And I just love it. I'm super intentional with the space I hold there, and wanting it to just be, again, like the right soil so everybody can grow. Like I just want this beautiful garden, and everybody's different. It's like so fun to watch people step into themselves, and yeah, that's what we're doing over here.
I love it. You're like bubbling with joy as you think about what you're doing and that space that you're holding in that garden that you're growing. I love it so much. And I really like that vision of the world where everyone is simply holding space for one another to reach that highest potential within them. So, I'd love to talk a little bit about the product itself and how we talked about it before, and how, the physical benefits are profound. Still today, I have to say, what it's been maybe 6 months or so that I've been on it now.
I was just trying to think, is it 4 months, 5 months? I don't know, maybe 6. Yeah.
Close to 6 months. And right away, I noticed some physical benefits. Like my feet stopped aching, like because my bones are funky, and I have, bunion, and like my feet hurt all the time, and they haven't hurt really at all unless I spend 3 days on them since I started taking the product. But the other thing that I noticed as I was thinking about having this conversation with you, of course, it got me more aware and paying attention and thinking like, well, what else has happened for me? And I realized that I haven't even had a cold since I started taking it. I'm pretty healthy anyway, and I practice the tools of happiness. So I'm constantly boosting my immune system through practices of happiness because that happens, right?
Yep.
But I would get a little cold once in a while. And
Yep.
I noticed I went through a very, very busy period, as I was mentioning just before we started recording. And like I was working much harder than I like to. Much longer hours, much less rest and relaxation than is normal for me, but it was a very concentrated, launch period and event. So, and during that time, my son had a cold, like a big one, like he was coughing and hacking away. And always in the past, I'd catch a little sniffle. And while I did feel like, oh, this could be a little cold, I better just like be aware. So I cranked up my ASEA intake a little bit, and I didn't really get nearly as much sleep as I normally get, and I still didn't get sick. And I just was thinking about that yesterday because, yeah, I'm a little tired coming off of that event, but I'm healthy. And not having even a cold when my son's had several, I need to get him on this product. He's had several colds in those last 6 months, and I haven't gotten one of them. And we're snugglers, right? We cuddle and hug a lot. And So I was just thinking of that, like how amazing. I don't even know what it's doing. I'm just taking a swig every morning and every night. And once in a while, if I have a big ache or like I burned myself, on the oven the other day. And so I've just been putting the little
Rub
um
gel.
the gel where it's over here somewhere on the arm, but
There we
yep, that one. Uh I just find it amazing what it can do physically, but I'm curious to know about the spiritual aspect of the technology, as you call it, of the product. Like, what doors internally is it opening up, and what have you seen in people?
It's been so fun, like hearing stories like that. Like we'll never know what we've prevented. And my background's biology, so I'm going to give like that answer first and then move into the spiritual side because it's like this. So what this is doing from a biological standpoint in your body is it's activating and turning on different signals in the body. It's putting in signaling molecules. They help your body find where there's damage. They help activate glutathione, which helps your body detox. It helps you deal with inflammation, but it's also known to activate different genes. One of which is the gene that helps with your innate immune response. That gets upregulated. So your immune system is more on alert. Right. And so when I hear things like that, I'm like, that's why biologically, like what's going on with your system. And so it's pretty cool, like the research that's out there with ASEA and with just redox as a whole. Like go to PubMed, go to Google Scholar and check out the field of redox signaling. It's amazing what they're learning. And it's a newer field. But with my journey with this, it's been very interesting to, as you know, I've developed and grown. I've attracted in different people, and I've been attracting in recently, last about 2 years or so, healers that work more in the quantum field. And their view and perspective is quite different, right? I always talk from the skin in, and they're like, from the skin out, right? They're working with the energy.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting because what many of them will say to me is, look, Danielle, this is shifting the system into a crystalline state, like from a carbon state to a crystalline state. When the body is in that state, it helps activate the crystals in the pineal gland. So people are literally going to be, their conscious level of awareness is going to go up. They're going to be more connected. It's going to shift the vibration that their body's holding. Think about if you're holding a higher vibration, there are some things that can't exist at that vibration, right? It's just not a vibrational match. And so it just won't be there. So I look at this, like this liquid, drinking it every day is like, look, it's just keeping my system strong. And I was since I met you, I've been to several events of Bruce Lipton's and Greg Braden. And I adore them both and their work because they bridge science and spirituality like beautifully. And at one of the conferences, Bruce said, Danielle, if you have people write their intention on the bottle of ASEA, it's liquid. It's going to absorb the words, right? We've all probably seen it's Dr. Emoto's work, right?
Yes.
With water, where you put the words on it absorbs. He said, have people write the intention on the bottle and then you swish this before you swallow it, like 15, 30 seconds, you swish it. And he said, as people are swishing, have them intend what they want the molecules to go do. Like, what is it that you're looking for your system to repair? Tell it, use it. And it's like, wow, again, beautiful merger of the science and spirituality of this.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Bruce Lipton is very cool. I love that. I'm fangirling that you've met all these amazing people. I really appreciate that you just shared that because I talk about intention a lot and how we move through our lives, that the being is so much more important than the doing, and the being as we're doing is like the crux of this life.
Yes.
And to have this, it's like magic, but it's not, it's science. Seems like magic. That's helping to repair and generate so things don't even need to be repaired. And then tying that in with intention, writing it on the bottle. I never even thought of that. I love that so much.
Right.
I'm going to start today.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yes, thank you so much. And really, whatever you're experiencing that you want a little bit of opening within.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's huge.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
I know when he said that, I was like, man, how long was it going to take me to make that connection in my own mind? I'm like, thank goodness. So it was like someone had to point it out to me, and it's so powerful. And I'm so grateful for this journey. I think there's so much that we don't know. And like, the more I'm working with redox, the more I'm meeting people, like, it's amazing to see the different experiences, knowledge that can come to this. And like, all of these healers, what they're telling me, like, it's just so exciting for me. And a lot of people are calling it the Ascension supplement. Like, what is helping their system to decalcify the pineal gland? What's helping them detox their system? What's helping their physical being just be in the right space so they can then have the energy, that vital life force energy is not being used on, an issue in the liver or whatever it is. It's freed up to now help with that connection. And so that you can be more connected in. And I want to live in a world where people are empowered with their own connection, where they know the answers are internal, where they have the abilities to go internal. And a lot of times the physical body and ailments can be in the way. It drains your energy, and it's harder. And this to me is like, yes, like, this is a quantum healing tool, a modality that you can use to help with that. And when I say quantum healing, like, everything is energy. What's in that bottle is just potential energy. It's electron transfer. I mean, it's like, when you get into it, you see the bridge so clearly from the spiritual side to the science of like what's happening in the physical body. And it's exciting. I can't wait to see what unfolds in the years to come, because I'm like, as you said, bubbling with joy. And this is like 8 years that I've been doing this. I love it.
The potential is pretty cool. And it really ties back to where we started with post-traumatic growth. Like, how much more growth can you move through and experience when your body's cleaned up?
Amen. And yes, it makes it so much easier. Like, it truly does. And how many times, this is an interesting point, that people go through a traumatic experience, one of the things they come out with is, how do I get my physical body healthier? It is one of the things that comes out of so much is, okay, life is short.
Mm-hmm.
Am I in my best physical health? How can I get it to the next level? And like you said, I don't know what the molecules are doing, but I'm drinking them every morning. It's the same with me. Like, I know they're going where my intuitive, sense, my immune system, right? It knows where it needs to go. And I drink it, it does its thing. So I too haven't been to the doctor. I don't get sick. I'm just a ball of energy, holding a high vibration. Like, that's the world I want everyone to live in. And I think where we all should head. Talk about the Pygmalion effect, right? All of us, this is where we're going. And I want everyone to feel the way that, you and I have gotten to feel.
I love that so much too, because I fully believe that when we feel good, we are kinder, we are more loving, we are more supportive and accepting. And if we could all up level just a little bit every day, then the world becomes a better, safer, more loving place. And if this beautiful blue bottle helps that happen, then everybody should drink the blue.
Take a shot. I know. It's not like, yeah.
And open up.
It does. Yeah. It's so exciting to watch people's experience with this, because each one is unique. What this is going to do for each individual body is different, because everyone's at a different space with what's off in their system and what they're needing. And so it's just really exciting to watch each person take a step towards their better, healthier self, the next version of themselves. I mean, it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? It can't hurt you in any way. The body recognizes it as if it made it. So it's literally native to you, which is why I believe, like, this is a divine gift. Like, it was intuited down how to make this. They made it by mistake. Like, that was because we got help to create the stabilization of these molecules. And that to me says so much of like, okay, well, where did this come from? And to me, it's a gift, and it's a gift for humanity in this phase now. And I think now more than ever, we need this. People's physical bodies are taxed. People are stressed. People need community, right? Like, to just be in the space. Like, I meet with my team every day. I'm like, look, let's get ourselves in the right space before we get out into the world. It's the most positive space you'll be all day. And if you're in that energy, you're going to attract in better. Like, just want that for everyone.
Oh, I love that. You're such a beautiful soul and with a gorgeous
I
mission
gotcha.
that is truly changing the world. And I'm so grateful to know you and to get to have these conversations with you now and again and to have met you so that I'm experiencing this too. And thanks for checking in on me and coming back. And because I forget, that, hey, I'm actually part of your team too, since I started taking it.
You are.
I can be offering this as well. And I am really grateful for any bridge that connects this earthly experience to our divine experience. And the fact that,
Yeah.
there are all sorts of medicines out there that people use to make that connection, but they all
Yeah.
begin by clearing your system first. So even if you're using other medicines to connect to the
Yeah.
spirit realm and to open up to visions and that sort of thing, you've got to do a cleansing first. And this is that cleansing. And I just
Yeah.
appreciate that so much. And of course it helps if you don't keep toxifying your body, but
Exactly. Please eat well. Yeah, exactly.
well, you gotta, choose healthy things to really take care of this temple that is the only one we get in this lifetime. And I really love the potential, we'll use that word again, the potential of what I'll experience and how much longer I might just be here at my best because of
Mhm.
something like this, right? I mean, I know I'm going to live a long time. I've got a good lifelong, but I want to also live fully during the years that I'm here. And I appreciate how this product is clearing that path for
Yeah.
so much more health
Living
and
younger longer.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just being healthier and having that energy and just not having even the regular little things giving me down. So,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Well,
exciting. Very exciting. So I'll be sharing the information for how people can try this themselves. And I am always inviting, oh, well, I'm not always, I am inviting right now, if you're watching this or listening to this, to try it out for yourself and share with us your own experience, right? I had massive changes in just the first 30 days. Like I noticed things within a week. So not everybody, disclaimer, I know that,
not everybody does. Yeah. And
but
I'll
I,
say this too. Yeah, well, sorry to jump in. I just wanted to say, guys, if you want to try this, like Tamara has a link you can go to. Click the contact me there. Like, I would advise you not to go try and purchase it on your own. I know it's a weird thing to say, but there are like different amounts you can get, different ways to purchase it. And I'm happy to help you figure out like, hey, what does my family need? Like, what does a bottle of ASEA equate to for me? Like, what do I need to get the experience I'm looking for? How do I get it at the best price? And so I'm happy to chat with you, get you set up well, get you plugged into all of the tools we have to support and just to meet you, wish you well on your journey. To me, this is really about education and experience. And I look forward to talking with anybody that if this is resonating, like just say yes and let's see what unfolds for you.
I always say that if your soul is leaning in, then let your voice do the same.
Oh, well said. Yeah.
Thank you, because our minds get in the way.
Oh, 100% they will. Yep.
Well, Danielle, thank you again for another amazing conversation. And all those links will be in the show notes. So people can do just what we said and find you as well and hear more of your inspiring story, including a link to the episode you were originally in where we talked more about that. Because you're an amazing example of post-traumatic growth. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to know you and talk to you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me back on. And yeah, guys, I'm talking about these things all the time on Instagram and Facebook. And so if you need that supportive community, plug in. I mean, you've got Tamara, so like you're already in a good place.
I will say though, your Instagram is really good. I watch your reels all the time.
I have fun making it.
All right, Spirit Cafe, we will talk to you again next week. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on Spirit Cafe. Please leave all comments on our Spirit Cafe Facebook page or in the comments below our YouTube videos.